Espresso time. Cinnamon roll would be really good with this espresso, actually. Hey guys, welcome back to Wild Moonlight Vlogs, or hello if you're new. My name is Raven, and on this channel I like to talk about everything handmade, homemade, and cozy. The caffeine has kicked in. I feel like I could talk a mile a minute. Is that how length works? Anyways, so today it is Homemade Wednesday. I feel like I need cooler names, but Alright, today for Homemade Wednesday, I'm going to be making cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls are like one of my childhood favorite foods. We had them every Christmas morning. I can't think of a Christmas any year where we didn't have like a can, I want to say it was 2 cans of the regular and 1 can of the orange. So I don't think I've ever had completely homemade cinnamon rolls. With everything going on, I don't know, I just wanted some comfort food. So I made cinnamon rolls. The closest thing that I've tried to make did not come out well. I tried to make, oh God, what are they called? Chelsea buns. I tried to make Chelsea buns. I didn't like the dough recipe that I used, and it ended up not working very well at all. And I didn't even, I ended up just folding it in half. I couldn't get a swirl out of it, and it oozed all over the pan. So I went into this without a lot of hope for myself, but I think these came out pretty good. I think I should have added a little bit more moisture to the dough. I'm not gonna lie, it shouldn't be a surprise. I didn't read the instructions. Again, I'm just embracing this. This is who I am. I didn't read the instructions, so I am willing to bet that I did the dough wrong, because I just sort of looked at the ingredients and was like, I know how to make a dough, and so I made it the way I make my bread. I'm also realizing that this is an American recipe, so it might not have, I don't think I did it right. I made the dough a little dry because I wasn't sure what texture I was going for. They are a little dry, but they're also covered in icing, so it's not like they're not edible. Icing and caramelized sugar, ugh. I will be linking the recipe down below so that you guys can see it, read the instructions for yourself, but I'm still really proud of how these came out. I actually got the swirl to work this time. I'm so happy. Yeah, we should jump in and make food. I had one today and it was delicious. They're actually really good the day after. Food, guys, food. All right, so starting off, I went ahead and measured out my flour. I like to dump my flour into a bowl and scoop it in. This keeps it from getting as compacted if you just scoop straight out of the bag, but I don't have a big container to store my flour in yet. I digress. So into the mixing bowl, we've got some sugar, yeast, eggs. There's gonna be some milk and melted butter. This is a really nice, enriched dough. Like I mentioned before, I think I should have added some more milk than what I went with. It was a little bit on the drier side, but it wasn't too bad. It's just a note for me to remember next time. And then I went ahead and just ran the mixer with my dough hook on. I think it would have worked a little bit better had I used the paddle attachment to get everything incorporated and then switched out to the dough hook. But I went ahead and let it do all of the kneading. And yeah, I know you definitely can knead by hand. I actually have really weird textured countertops, so I just don't like to knead on my counters. Personal preference. I also have some issues with my neck, so it's a little painful, but that's why I have a KitchenAid. I went ahead, I dumped it into a bowl. The bowl was oiled with a little bit of safflower oil. I ran out of grapeseed oil, guys, so I had to try something new. And I decided to let it proof for about 2 hours. I like to use cold ingredients to let the dough take longer. I think it adds more flavor, and it's just a personal preference. And once it was proofed, I went ahead and tried to get as big of a rectangle as I could. I find it really difficult to actually get a rectangular shape out of dough or anything. I'm just not very good with a rolling pin, and all I had was a fondant rolling pin. For the topping, I did stick to the recipe as instructed, I think, hopefully. And so I went with brown sugar instead of white, about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I added a sprinkle of salt because I feel like any sugar, like cinnamon sugar mixture, does a little bit better with salt to bring out
the complexity of the flavors. And I just mixed it with a fork. It was great. Oh, was it 2.5 tablespoons? Either way. Once the mixture was well combined, I went ahead and I had some more melted butter that I spread onto the dough with a brush, which I'm not a huge butter person, but there is something really good for your soul about just spreading butter onto dough. It was actually really soothing and I really enjoyed it. I sprinkled the cinnamon sugar mixture with a spoon, and because I had a little bit of butter left over that I didn't want to sprinkle onto the dough, I actually sprinkled it on top of the cinnamon sugar mixture, which was really satisfying and would definitely do that again. Okay, so here's the most terrifying part for me. I was really afraid that this wasn't going to work out and that I would just not end up with a pretty swirl. But I did it, guys! I'm really proud of myself. I didn't think it would work, and it did. And they came out really pretty. Moving it, however, was terrifying because the dough was just a little bit warm enough that it was like really soft and very giving. I was afraid it was going to tear or spill or something, but I got it. It worked, and then I was able to start cutting. This definitely would have worked better had I had some floss or thread. Oh, I did have thread. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Well, this would have worked better had I remembered that I like to sew and that I have thread at home. But instead I tried to use a dull serrated knife to get through it. And while everything was proofing a second time, I decided to go ahead and make the frosting. I did not get a shot of the cinnamon rolls before they went into the oven to show the size difference, but you'll just have to believe me that they sat there for another 45 minutes. And then I started on the frosting. I decided to go ahead and cream the butter and cream cheese together. I hate making icing because powdered sugar stresses me out. However, using the KitchenAid mixer actually did make this a lot less stressful for me. So it's definitely something I'm gonna have to remember in the future because I always buy my frosting. That feels like a guilty confession, but that's where we are. So I creamed the paste part together, and then I just did about a spoonful of sugar at a time, and there was a little bit of vanilla that went in there. Super simple icing, but it was really good, way better than store-bought. I really do feel guilty that I've been buying icing from now on. I wasn't able to fit all of the cinnamon rolls into one pan, so the pan that had less in them and had the little end butts of the loaf went in for a lot less longer. The bigger pan needed about 5 to 10 minutes longer just to get the middle nice and golden so I wouldn't have a doughy middle. I'm wondering if it was a problem with the milk or if the temperature setting was too low of a bake. I think maybe 375 instead of 350 might have done a little bit better. It would have needed less time to bake, and so the middle wouldn't be as dry. Either way, I also completely goofed and deleted all of the really pretty B-roll footage. So here's the side where you can see all of that cinnamon gooiness leaking out. Okay, so I don't know where I'm going with that. That was such a weird opening. That's how the cinnamon rolls came out. Like I said, we're still eating them. They're very edible. They're really yummy. I think if I were to have changed anything, I would have added more moisture to the dough, and I would have used white sugar instead of brown. I remember reading there's a hummingbird.
Oh, I remember reading in the blog post that she preferred the taste of brown sugar to white sugar. I don't really fall in the same line for just personal preference. I think I would have gone with white sugar. I think it has a lighter taste to it. Brown sugar kind of reminds me of maple-y things, and I'm really picky about things that have a maple taste to them. Maple and brown sugar oatmeal, amazing. Maple and bacon donuts, not my cup of tea. So if that is your taste preference, like definitely try the brown sugar. It was something interesting, but I am gonna try it with white sugar next time. I also ended up getting a bunch of ideas for like spin-offs of cinnamon rolls. So if that's something you guys are interested in seeing me do, we were talking about it last night. I have like a full series of potential cinnamon roll ideas. So I don't think they're all good ideas, but like they are ideas. They are ideas. So if you guys want to see more cinnamon roll ideas, let me know in the comments down below. I don't know how I would go about doing it because right now I'm trying to alternate a savory with a sweet so that I am not constantly making cake. Better for my health that way. Anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about cinnamon rolls down in the comments below. Please hit subscribe, make sure to come back. I make videos 3 times a week, and I really need to stop drinking this much espresso. Anyways, I hope you're having an awesome day. Please don't forget to find the magic in the small things. I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.